So what is going on, everybody? We are back with another Raw Talk. So if you guys know, we talk about 20 minutes. I don't want to do it too long because, again, it's something for you guys to learn, get something out of it, and just go on about your day, go out and create. So if you guys are watching this or hearing it, just, eat, go to the gym, just listen. It'll be something good for you guys to kind of just soak in. But today's video, we're going to talk about cameras in 2021. If they're all the same. I am with my boy John right here, and it's my guy right here. We're always creating. He's always on my sets, and I felt like this topic should be talked about because I was telling them when I told everyone that I switched to Sony. I had a few people talk, they had their ways because I left Panasonic basically, when realistically I was just using the camera, whatever works for me, right? And the reason why I wanted to talk about this video or about this topic is because the S1H and the A7S III, there's no difference. You could tell me different, but John here has seen already 4 music videos that I've been shooting, and he's seen the way I've been shooting with the A7S III to the S1H. And for me, I will say I see no difference. From color grading, the only difference I honestly see is the autofocus is working for me in my favor. But as far as image, colors, you can't see anything, right? I have seen people say, oh, well, I seen your Sony a little sharper or a little something. There's always something, right? But I'm like, if I never said anything, no one would have ever noticed. No one would have ever noticed the switch because there's no difference like that. YouTube, Instagram compresses the videos, so they're not gonna see a difference. So cameras in 2021, as long as, let's say, you're doing 10-bit to 10-bit, for the most part, a lot of cameras look the same. Like, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, no difference in quality. Everything's 4K at 60 mostly. Like, no one's gonna tell the difference. The artists aren't gonna tell the difference, that's for sure. If you put 2 screens together with a Panasonic S1H and a Sony, like, you're not really gonna tell the difference. Because for you, I know you could color grade really good. If you color grade the same, like, they're gonna look the same. And like, I think people are just missing that skill, maybe.
That's what I feel, because a lot of people, when they say like the color science on this camera is better than the other one, it's like I always say it doesn't matter. Like, again, yeah, if you can color grade, you can make it happen. And at the end of the day, I just think people think too much about like what camera instead of learning that it's the lenses, it's the lighting.
Lighting's important.
Yeah, and like you said, every camera nowadays is good. Like, I'm not saying every camera, but for the most part, every camera that's coming out any day after today's video, and the cameras are like the A7S III, the S1H, the Canon R6, the Canon R5. We got the Blackmagic cameras. You could say Panasonic. I don't know if I've mentioned that already. So there's so many good cameras right now in the 10-bit market. Some have 12-bit, some have RAW. They're all great cameras, bro, and it does not matter. If you put that camera in the right hands, it does good. However, some, they don't even know how to maximize your camera. They think it's the camera, but now you got to put the right lenses on that camera. You got to put the right lighting for your sets. People don't account that. They fact that the cameras, and I think 2021, especially 2022, I think 2022 is going to change the game as far as like mirrorless cameras taking over. Because cinema cameras, I honestly don't even see them lasting as long. Like, they might just eventually just be a movie thing. But I feel like what I see creators making nowadays with these smaller mirrorless cameras, bro, like it's killing the game, and it's making it a lot easier for people to film.
Yeah, it's making it more affordable. Like, people aren't gonna keep buying cinema cameras that are like $10,000 or something if they're not gonna make films. Like, they want to make music videos, and these mirrorless cameras going for like $3,000, maybe $5,000. They're more portable, they're lighter, they're gonna be able to move more, and it's more for their job, not to make movies.
It's easier. And I mean, the one thing I do, kind of like what we were talking about, like how Peter McKinnon did just make a video on that. It is perception. Like, if you're gonna go something bigger, it's perception. I'm guessing the budget's big, and of course you might want to go something bigger because the budget's there, and you kind of have to use it, to make up for the budget. Kind of show them that you're using it for this particular thing. But the budget's not big, and even if it's big, if it's 10,000 is not considered that big in like the film industry. But 10,000 you can get away with a mirrorless camera. I'd rather put that 10,000 instead of renting a Red or Ari or these big cinema cameras. I'll put that down on lighting, or not even lighting, maybe because I already own the lighting. But for someone else, I would say lighting, get the right lenses, or if not, just get more teammates, like more crew members to help you make it easier. But I think I told you, we were talking before we made this, before we got on this, I was talking to you about the whole situation with with if having a cinema camera is basically gonna make you just a DP or just a director, because there's so much shit that goes on to it. Like you need a bigger gimbal, you need bigger things, right? And then when you have these smaller mirrorless cameras, you can just do it all like by yourself, like not by yourself, but you can basically wear two hats. You could be a DP and you can be a director, you know, just because you're not really like there's
less things to deal with.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about setting this big ass gimbal up. You don't have to worry about setting all this. Like it doesn't get crazy. You can do it. Now I'm not saying you shouldn't. Like if the budget is there, like definitely, you know, at least those two are really important roles that they should be separate. But you can if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, it's just what you're willing to invest in yourself. Like in the future, if you're willing to invest in cinema cameras just because like, oh, it's a cinema camera and Netflix approves it and you feel like you're gonna be like this huge filmmaker, like you gotta think kind of realistically. Like, do you really want to go out that route? Like if you're shooting music videos now and then you want to go into film, like you're not gonna start thinking about cinema cameras in music videos unless you're making this big budget music video.
Yeah, and I have the Sony A7S III right now. I had the S1H before, and I was gonna get that Fix 6. You knew that as well. But realistically, I kept telling in my head, like, why am I gonna get it? It's not gonna give me more money. It's not gonna give me bigger jobs. The artist never tells me what kind of camera. The only people that tell me what kind of camera I have is labels. And at that point, they're gonna offer the budget if they want to rent out a camera. But even some labels don't even say nothing. Like EDG, for example, he shoots with the A7R3 or R2 or something. They didn't any shooting labels, and they're not asking them what camera he's using. The fact that he's shooting with that camera, bro, that's 1080p or I think it's 4K, but only 24, and it crops in. The fact that he's doing it with that camera, that comes to show, like, if you put in the right hands or the right person shooting it with it, and the label's not saying anything, or dude, like,
the work shows itself. Like,
yeah, like, and that's the 8-bit camera, right? But of course, putting the right lighting around that, like even 8-bit. So I shoot everything in S-Log 3, obviously, or V-Log for Panasonic. If you have the right lighting, bro, based on my experience in the past, when I had the GH5, I shot at 4K 60, it was 8-bit. You don't tell difference if the lighting is done right. 8-bit, 10-bit, it's very hard because the lighting, you're kind of putting it to give you that type of image at the end of the day when you go into color grading and post. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you could push obviously a lot more 10-bit, but even 8-bit, like if you just light this shit up right, like that's really all you need. Like I feel like too many people are so like, oh, this camera looks better, why'd you switch to this camera, when it's like, bro, 2021, it doesn't matter what camera this person has or that person. You can give a great filmmaker a freaking iPhone and he'll make killer videos compared to someone owning a cinema camera. And we've seen that happen, right? We've seen film students bring Reds or Aries and they come out looking bad. And I bet you someone put an iPhone with the same setup that person had, but he adjusted everything to his liking, the iPhone's gonna look better than the Ari. And that just comes to show, like, it doesn't matter the camera. And I just feel like, I don't know if it's the new people that are barely adapting into filmmaking, but I just feel like that has to be kind of like, people need to understand.
I think people are looking to like, oh, these specs are better. On paper, I guess they seem better, but it's like, if you don't know how to use them, you don't know how to utilize them, like your video is gonna come out as crappy as like someone with an older camera model. That's a good point, because the Panasonic S1H, everyone talked bad about it because it had no great autofocus. So they counted that camera out. The camera was a monster. It was a beast, right? Everyone counted it out because it didn't have good autofocus. That doesn't mean it was a bad camera. You just didn't want to work with the negatives that it comes with it. You know, the A7S III has great autofocus, but there's a lot of negatives on that camera. So every camera has a downfall, a negative, that I just don't see why people keep like saying, oh, this or that, or someone jumps ship from one brand to another, they all go crazy, or they might just talk bad. Like, it's not the camera. There's a lot of videos that I have coming out with the Sony A7S III. You guys are not going to tell a difference. You guys probably will look to find a difference because now you know that video is out there, but if not, no one's ever going to know. It's really what works for you. If you guys want a camera in 2021, yeah, I mean, every camera for the most part is coming out with 4K 60 10-bit. 4K 120 10-bit, that's if you want it. I don't use it. I didn't get the A7S III for that. I just like the 4K 60 10-bit at full frame. There's no crop. That was my biggest sell point. But every camera just works now, man. Like, I don't see. It's all the same. It depends what you want to do. You get a higher end camera, you're looking for a higher end computer. Like, you got to think about that too.
That's 100. Yeah, and you know what? The only thing that I can see the industry going towards, and that's gonna happen, cameras gonna come out with 6K, 8K. Like that's gonna be like the normal. And I'm like, you don't need that. And if you want to get that for some reason, you think you need the resolution. Well, good luck with a computer. Good luck with all that hard drive. Good luck with all that shit. That's gonna just be holding you back from editing that video faster. 4K is, I think it's just more than enough. Like the S1H, I never shot in 6K. I probably shot one video in 6K to make a YouTube video when I barely got it, and I was curious as well. But 4K, bro, does the job. Like I will never shoot 6K, 8K because I'm not about to get a whole new monster computer and I had to rig it up and spend a lot of money. There's so much money when you got to upgrade like that. And yeah, man, it's crazy how people are in this industry, how they just like, they go based on specs, like you said. Like,
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, yeah, get what's best for you. But every camera, whether you have Canon, Sony, Panasonic, Nikon, dude, I don't give a damn what you have. Put that camera in the right place and get whatever works for you, whatever it offers. But for the most part, they're all spec'd out the same. Just have the right lenses, the right lighting. I mean, I keep preaching that in my videos. It's all about lens and lighting. The camera doesn't matter. Put it in the right hands and that's it. It does the job. So I mean, you got anything else to say for this video?
I guess we're not just saying, we're not like talking bad about whatever cameras, because each camera has their positives and their cons. But I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna get a camera that's higher end, I guess, like, just make sure you know how to use it. Don't just go based off of specs. Like, if the specs work for you and you feel like, oh, you could like utilize it, then go for it. But if you don't know what you're doing, like, just don't go on spending your money on it just because you think it's better or it's a better camera. Because that's what I did in a way. So
what camera was it?
I mean, it was a Canon, right? I had
Which
a Canon
one?
T3. Well,
Okay.
obviously it was like whatever, but I mean, I did pretty good for pictures.
Yeah.
I went to the Canon 6D, and then picture wise, like, okay, I didn't really know how to use it, so I kind of went the same like settings and stuff, and I was like, it still looks the same to me.
Okay.
Until later on, then I started learning how to use it, mess with the settings, mess with the profiles, the picture profiles, and all these stuff. Like, okay, now I know how to use it, and now I could tell the difference because of the specs. The specs are way better, obviously.
Yeah.
But now I know because I know how to use it. If I didn't know, like, it would have still looked the same to me. And I spent like, $1,000 more for nothing.
So it just comes down basically to just understanding, right? Like knowing how to use the camera.
Know where you're getting, basically.
And that's what I try telling people. I mean, 2021, bro, the cameras are they're great. 2022 is gonna get better. Every camera is gonna be good. I think the biggest, I think I talked to you. I don't know if I talked to you or my girl, but I was like, I think Sony ruined the filmmaking. Like, not didn't ruin it. Like, it helped a lot of us. I mean, ruined as a fact that like too many amateurs are getting into. Well, I call them videographers. They're getting into filmmaking. And right away, they're able to pick up a camera with great autofocus, good quality. And right away, I film videos. Who wants to do this for $300-$500? They ruined the market. Sony, in a way, ruined the market with these cameras. But that's what comes to show, like, the specs are so good that people just think, like, right away you can. And for the most part, you can. Like, you have autofocus, you have 4K. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to color grade, but it's there, right? But it doesn't come down to the specs. But it's there. That's what I mean. Like you say, like, it's there. It doesn't mean you're going to get that output. It has to be the right person, or you gotta just learn and shoot until one day. But don't let other people tell you, because you have, for all we know, Nikon, which is like a freaking, no one really has that camera. But dude, if it's working for you, stick with it. Like, the one reason why you shouldn't switch is because, dude, it's a lot of money. Like, when I switched to the S1H to the A7S III, it wasn't a lot because, one, we already had an A7S III. To get the second A7S III, I sold the S1H, sold a bunch of lenses, so I made about $4,200. So I think from me switching to all the new lenses and the camera, I only ended up spending like $2,000 or $3,000 or something like that. So it wasn't a big jump. It wasn't me buying the A7S III plus 5 lenses. It was literally just basically buying the A7S III and all 5 lenses were free, because like selling the S1H helped. But I did it because I saw what the A7S III can do for me as far as making my job easier. As far like, I never thought autofocus would really be that good until I tried it. And I knew everything else was gonna come easy. It was literally just learning the settings. But the camera is gonna be the camera. I don't give a damn what camera anyone has. If you have a good camera, with this video, the outcome that I will say is stick with the camera that works for you. Don't let other people tell you you need RAW, you need 12-bit, none of that shit. If you know how to color, 10-bit can do the job. Shit, even 8-bit will do the job. learn the freaking camera. If you're great colors at 8-bit, then bro, if you want to make the jump to 10-bit, you're about to kill it even better, because 10-bit is gonna get better. Then 12-bit will get easier, but you could shoot an 8-bit, and you can, if it's working for you and no one, the artist or the clients that you're working with are not complaining, stick with that camera. Don't switch because filmmakers are telling you that your camera's crap, you know. So that's really where what I can tell you guys off this video. I mean, both of us basically. It just comes down to the user of the camera. It's not the specs. The specs could be all as good as they want it to be, but if you don't know how to utilize it at that point, just take the specs out. It's kind of like a sports car, right?
Yeah.
You take a sports car, you buy a freaking fast ass car, and if you don't know how to drive stick shift, the auto's gonna win, because literally the auto does the job and the other ones can't even shift or can't even like do it right. So that's kind of like a good way to go about it. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You got anything else to say?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Pretty much it. Pretty short, simple. Want to get straight to the point, kind of just release this out. So if you guys have any comments that you guys want to say, go ahead and just leave them below. We'll be happy to answer. Again, if you guys found this helpful, like this video. Really just trying to help you guys with these short type of content, raw talk videos, where we just try to, like, you know, focus on a subject. And yeah, I mean, if anything, if you guys like, leave some questions down below. Maybe we can make a Q&A on the next video or something. But
some topics we could
some topics, yeah, some topics as well we can talk about. We'll definitely get on that. Most likely it's gonna be me and John going forward. He's gonna be like helping me with YouTube, just because I need an editor. I need someone to just help me, because it's hard. Like, I edit too much of my music videos, so thankfully I have him, and he's gonna be helping me on board. So yeah, John Mejia, this gonna be the guy that'll be on my YouTube videos going forward, and just literally you guys will see him on my sets if you guys ever come on my sets.
John the Fog Guy.
John the Fog Guy. Yeah, if you guys ever see me on set, you guys will hear me scream, John Fog. And that's every time. So yeah, like this video again, and subscribe if you guys are not subscribed. Welcome to the family. This is Mario Visions, where we talk about filmmaking, we eat tacos, and we drink Bang. But we're not sponsored by Bang, so let me flip that real quick. There you go. See, he got a Bang as well. That's right. You keep clutch. All right, guys. So that's it for today. Peace out.